Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Baseboards. My name is Erik Miller. I'm a mortgage and real estate expert. I take this show very seriously. And what we're going to talk about today is relocation. Arizona and Florida are really among the two top states that people retire. So naturally, relocation is a big thing. Plus, you may not know it, but Arizona has also become quite the little tech hub. They're saying that in the next 5 years, we'll become the Silicon Valley of the sun. I don't know about all that. But I do know there's lots of people moving here from other places, and so this episode about relocation is very important. And that's why I brought a relocation specialist and superstar, Maegann Yarbrough. Now, Sorry, I had to do a thing. Anyway, she's a great relocation specialist, but she's also got a ridiculous amount of credentials. She has an MBA, GRI, ABR. She got APB. I got APB on the credentials for ABR. PSA, Tiny R, CRMS, REME, SFR, and RESPECT. That's a serious amount of real estate designations. Want to know what they mean? Check out the link in the description below for greater details. But in summary, got some respect, just a little bit. I'm like 50 and I'm doing this. Anyway, she has all that. And as you will see, Maegann is a unique person who is so smart, and she's determined to help people to the max. And definitely, she's so much fun. She plays video games. She collects Star Wars memorabilia. She's a real person. She does cosplay, and she's just overall fabulous. And you're going to love it. If you're thinking about relocating to Arizona, check out her YouTube channel. Reach out to her. She's amazing. Given all that, I've chosen this opportunity to dress up, play ball. I picked a special background for the podcast, which I hope you like. And I really hope you enjoy this episode because it's fun and informative. Without further ado, Maegann Yarbrough. So since you are constantly on top of it, what's the hottest city right now that, like a buyer they don't know Arizona, they're coming from out of state, right? What do they need to know about Arizona? Where should they be looking in the valley, do you think?
Well, if they're coming from out of state, the first thing they think about is Scottsdale. That's what they think about. They think it's beautiful and it's nice and there's mountains and there's shopping and there's all that kind of stuff. So they don't know beyond that. There's Phoenix and there's Scottsdale and there's a bunch of cities around. So it's coming back to asking questions again. What are you looking for in moving to Arizona? What's the lifestyle that you're trying to bring? I mean, are you trying to find a more family-oriented type community? Are you really into hiking? Do you want some shopping? Do you like the urban living style, or do you want some property and some land? So I start with the questions and what their lifestyle looks like. And then I start talking about the different areas of the Phoenix Valley that kind of would suit those lifestyles.
Okay. So I've noticed the East Valley's grown a lot. Like Gilbert has, really blown up, but Mesa never used to be like, it was like Mesa, like, you know what I mean? And now Mesa's like, oh, I live in Mesa. Like, okay, calm down. Like, what have you seen in the last 13 years for how these cities in the East Valley has changed? Because I mean, I'm a West Sider. I see, I see the changes from way out here, but being in those markets, it's got to be like, I went to downtown Gilbert. It's unbelievable. I mean, and somebody told me it's been like that forever. What have you seen in terms of how the cities are changing?
No, Gilbert has made some big changes since I first, in the last 13 years, especially. I mean, downtown Gilbert was, a couple nice shops. You had Joe's Barbecue down there and Liberty Market and the farmhouse and you had that. And now it's just a strip of neon signs and brunch and, all sorts of things. But I mean, it's a hopping place, but downtown Mesa is catching up. Downtown Mesa is getting hot.
Tell me about downtown Mesa, because I don't know anything about that.
It's hopping. Literally, because there's breweries. So you've got breweries all along the main strip there. Restaurants. You got the light rail going right through, so it's really easy access. Brand new housing. My niece lives in downtown Mesa right now, and she's got like a studio apartment that overlooks all of downtown, and she loves it.
Wow. I remember when Chandler was a thing. You remember when Chandler was like, oh man, Chandler's up and coming. And then all of a sudden, nobody's talking about Chandler anymore. I mean, I'd feel bad if I were Chandler. It's like you're that hot person in high school, right? That developed like, I got a beard. I'm a senior. I got a beard. I got all these muscles. And then like, I stop growing and everybody else keeps growing. That's what Chandler's like. Chandler's like peaked too early. Right. I haven't heard anybody talk. Awatuki's the same thing, right? So I remember when Awatuki was like, oh, it's the Scottsdale of the East, right? And now I hardly hear about it. What's it like in Awatuki right now in terms of, home availability, prices? Is it still hot? Is it still a great place, or is it
It's still desirable. I still have a lot of people asking about Awatuki. Yeah, the homes aren't as available there. They tend to not turn over as fast, I'm guessing. And a lot of my clients at least are looking for newer homes, so that's why they're going more on the outskirts. So you've got, North Mesa, you've got Queen Creek, Santan, those kind of areas, because there's more land. Because the same thing, well, Chandler's still got room to grow, but with like Tempe and Awatuki, they're like landlocked. And you can't build out. You can only build up at that point.
And they're doing a lot of building up now.
So I think you just see people more wanting to go on the outskirts just because there's newer homes available.
You mentioned Santan. Now, again, back in the day, Queen Creek was like way out there, right? And I drove to Santan. And actually, by the time I got there, I had a full beard. That's how I aged 6 years from the time I started. Santan is so far away from me in the West Valley that, like, way before you get there, you start looking around like, did I miss a turn? Is there? Oh no, still going. And then you see a sign. It's like Santan, 1 million miles away. But when you get there, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, talk about, if you can, the growth in Santan, because people that have never been there, it's incredible. It's incredible what's happening there. Oh, great. What? That was okay. Sorry, but ooh, yeah, that's, hey, watch your language. What are you doing here? Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, me too. It's pretty cool, right? I know. You want to, I do the same thing. You want to come with me? Okay, you think anyone's going to really care about this? No, probably not. But I do. All right, let's get out of here. Where'd you go? Where did you? Oh, that's pretty smart. All right. Well, looks like these videos are about to get better. That's right, coin block. We'll see you later. Bye. Where's for my Elvis? Oh, yeah, that's nice. Karate Kid. See you later.
Yeah. Between Santan Valley and Queen Creek, that whole area is just blowing up. You've got the 202 freeway expanding out there. You've got a lot of industrial places that are moving in that area. There's a lot of housing going up. There's a lot of shops going up. So it's blown up on its own over there. It's a very desirable area.
They're building on every corner has a new thing. Like it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. And it just, to me, it seemed like it came out of nowhere. Is Santan the limit, or are there going to be even more? I mean, is there more east? What's east of?
There's more, Florence, I guess.
Florence.
I mean, you got Gold Canyon.
Canyon.
There's stuff. It keeps growing. And speaking of, when you talked about like Mesa, like nobody goes to Mesa or whatever. But I mean, no
offense to Mesa people, but
Well, I mean, right now you've got things like where Apache Junction's starting to get desirable, when before people would be like, oh, you don't want to go to AJ, but I mean, come on, if you could be at the foot of the Superstition Mountains, there are $1 million homes out there, and it's gorgeous.
It's
AJ. Gorgeous, and people want that Western deserty kind of aspect, especially when they're coming from out of state.
Yeah, I mean, I love Western deserty stuff. I think that's cool. Shameless plug. I have a Western themed video series where I sing a song and get into a fake gunfight. So I mean, I love Western stuff. But I'm actually shocked. I think this is worth repeating. There's $1 million houses in Apache Junction.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's amazing. I did hear last month I had somebody coming from out of state, and they're like, oh, I want to go to one of the really nice areas. We think is a really nice area. I heard Apache Junction is nice. I was like, I don't know who told you that, but you're not your friend. And then, but it's funny that way, right? I grew up in Minnesota in this area called Shakopee. And I ran into somebody from Minnesota, and we'd start talking, and they're like, oh, where are you from? And I go, Shakopee. And they go, oh, you must have been rich. I was like, rich in Shakopee? So it's like, it's funny how, like, there was literally nothing but trailers and more trailers, right? And it was awful. It was like the worst. I mean, there's 6 tornadoes a year. This is awful. And so Shakopee was a real dump. I'm not gonna make any Shakopee fans from this, but whatever. Anyway, this lady was like, oh, and it's funny how much it grows over time and becomes this really great area. I'm hearing that, like, for the West Valley, it's like that with Levine now, where Levine was kind of a downtrodden area. Now it's like there's real stuff going on there.
Yeah, no, Levine's blowing up. It's and it's been growing probably the last 10 years. I mean, a lot of people were like, well, that's kind of like South Phoenix. You don't want to go there. And I'm like, yeah, no. I mean, again, you've got South Mountain, you've got mountains. It's a gorgeous area. Why wouldn't you want to build houses and live there and look at the mountains every day? I mean, come on.
Yeah, and there's parts of the valley where you were like by Eagle Golf Club off of a baseline, and there was a period of time where you were like, this should be great, but it wasn't great. And now it is great, which is, it's fascinating when you see it from a historical standpoint. So one of these lines, it's so good, and it's your line, and it's one of the best things about coming to Arizona is that you don't have to shovel sunshine. Yes. Remember, I was saying, like, you have the best line, and I literally laughed out loud when I heard that, because I go, oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's like a patent pending. That's a Maegann Yarbrough exclusive. Don't try to steal that.
I don't know. I might have stolen that from someone else, but I tell you what,
it's actually difficult to say too. If you're like, I'm going to shovel sunshine. In my head, I'm like, don't say the word that you could easily say that has a similar feeling of shoveling.
Right. Well, you said you're from Minnesota. I'm originally from Nebraska. The winters are brutal. I mean, it's not like, you go up to Flagstaff and you play in the snow, and you could practically do it in your shorts because it's dry and it's high altitude, and, it's fun. But when you go to a Midwest winter, Midwest winter is like the ice is in your bone marrow at that point.
Yeah.
And they got to go through months.
Rastafarian icicles on your head.
Yeah, but they got to go through months and months of that. And we have a few months when it's kind of hot here. And people always think like, oh, you don't want to go to Phoenix. It's like being in the center of the sun. And I was like, we don't have to shovel sunshine. You know, like you get to enjoy those beautiful winters here. And then you just tolerate the summers, and by hanging out in the pool or going to the movies, we got air conditioning.
It's a blast, right?
Yeah.